channel, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah. Alright folks, welcome back to the channel, and we are continuing our Transformers Legacy review. Today we have Legacy Deluxe Class Skullgrin. Yeah, look at that evil looking guy. He looks very menacing. I don't think that there is any other Decepticon out there that looks so metal than this guy right here. He has a skull for a face. Look at that. That is so heavy metal. Yeah. Anyway, so he's a deluxe class figure, and I just got him from the mail a few days ago. He looks really okay. I mean, it's I wouldn't say that it's the most outstanding version of Skullgrin out there, but it is okay. Let's hop on to our review, and let's talk about the things that comes along with this figure right here. The first thing that we want to discuss is how this thing right here is so rubbery. I don't know why they took this route, and we all know that these rubbery weapons end up being bent as heat increase and you keep them in storage. They technically become very useless, and if you really think about that and look at it, this looks exactly reminiscent to the Power of the Primes add-ons that usually comes with their deluxe figures. So that could have been something that they just used most likely instead of having these rubber figures. Another thing is that you can place them here if you decide to keep them stored away. So that is pretty much it. So he comes with two blades. These things pop out. You can put them here. I personally like placing these little cannons on his arms rather on the back, and placing the blades, which I really feel are very weak and flimsy, down the back, giving him much more of that spiky looking design, which really fits him because he is a walking robot skull that looks more like a monster. So that is pretty cool if you ask me. He has so many ports where you can actually place these things. A lot of playable sections, so you can do it like that a la Seeker, have those as like null rays. It's really up to you, but personally you can place them here as well. You can even have them like that. So it's really up to you. I mean, you can pose him with two guns. I really think that there's a lot of playability involved with Skullgrin right here. Now let's talk about his articulation. So modern Transformer has waist articulation. You have this head articulation right here, and notice that there's really nothing else. There's no like jaw or anything. He's just like a floating robotic skull. Another thing that kind of bugs me is that the pink eyes. Yeah, it's okay, but they could have really gone the. Again, I'm a very big fan of the light piping. This would have been more sinister looking with the light piping involved. Another cool gimmick is that they have this little tailpiece right here. That's pretty cool. That's another articulated section. And by the way, you can actually take and remove that away, and there's a peg right there, so whatever really floats your boat. Waist swivel, thigh swivel, ankle tilts are there. The only thing that this little guy doesn't have would be wrist swivel, because it's part of the transformation. So that's a little downer, but it's not the end of the world. So you have a very articulate design for a deluxe class figure right here. And again, I told you that this is not the most outstanding figure out there. Honestly, there's a lot of things going on more with his predecessor. This is Generation's deluxe class Skullgrin, and the design again is very reminiscent to his Pretender shell. That's one of the plus sides on this guy right here, on the Legacy one. This one right here, as you can see, it's starting to yellow. He looks very different and has a lot more of that design liberty. But there are so many things going on. I mean, so many bells and whistles, add-ons, and clip-on weaponry, which is really pretty cool. So design-wise, awesome, but very plain. It's really just a chunk of that and if you take a look at that side, it's a pretty thin robot compared to this guy, who is just really chunky and bulky. There you go. Take a look at that. Yeah. So I would say that they could have really gone crazy with Skullgrin. Skullgrin is a pretty cool character. I really think that, you know, a robot with a skull for a face is just really awesome. Very, like what I said, I can't say it enough. It's very metal, you know, it's like metal. There we go. So I like it. It's just that there are too many opportunities to make him more cool. So that's him. And another thing that we kind of forgot was this little guy right here. So this was the Power Master, Action Master, whatever you want to call these guys now. You know, these are the most recent, I guess, Skullgrins that we have out there. If you have the Pretender Starscream, I mean the Pretender Skullgrin, then fantastic. You know, good job, because you got those G1 stuff. But you know, with the recent ones, you know, he looks a lot better when it comes to the face design. But honestly, they could have really gone more. There should have been more with this guy right here. He is an awesome character. They could have just really added a lot of other bells and whistles right here. One of the things that I'd like to do is transform this guy right here and make him as a weapon for the bigger Skullgrin. And if you have one of these other guys, so this is something that's going to come out really soon. I guess they're going to do a commander class version of this guy. I forgot his name though. We'll put it in that section down below, because I will remember it later. I'm just getting that forgetfulness syndrome again. But he looks fantastic with that. See, I mean, adding more features and maybe add-ons to this would make him just really more amazing. I mean, he is a metal-looking evil robot, and there are so many possibilities that you could do with that. So just take a look at that. Claws. Looks pretty awesome to me. There you go. You can even put it that way. I really have a lot of fun just goofing around with this and playing around and putting add-ons. And honestly, I like it. And this is one of the props. There you go. So wrist articulation is not there, but if you force it too much and add something, it pops off. So little downer again. So we are going to transform him in a bit, but before that, let's get rid of Generation Skullgrin. Let's put him there and compare him to the most recent deluxes that we have recently reviewed. We have right here Crankcase. They were together in the same wave. Here we go. Same size, almost same height. Here is another of the wave that Skullgrin belongs to. This is Point Blank. There you go, pretty awesome. And let's have Skullgrin compared to one of my other favorite weirdo Decepticons, always there to be compared to. Here is Fangry. They look pretty awesome together, like weirdo buddies. Hey man, what's up? Hey, you look metal. I look metal. Yeah. And of course, he is a deluxe size, and let's try to have him compared to another Cybertronian version, because later on we'll see that this guy transforms into a little more Cybertronian vehicle compared to the other Skullgrin, but you have Siege Thundercracker. So let's take a quick pause and transform our deluxe class Skullgrin into his vehicle mode. Oops. See you in a bit. Alrighty, we're back, and let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. So the first thing you want to do is just flip these fists in. Please flip these fists in, and just try to angle that right there. Next thing you want to do is open this chest piece right here, and open this back section like so, and then squeeze the horns like this. Notice at the back horn you can flip that, and once you do, you can just flip this whole section right here, and pretty much you have this whole section to flip like so. Rotate these midsections and squeeze them and sandwich them together. So you have like this kind of setup where you have the skull face flush down the back. The next thing that you want to do is this is where I got confused. So you just really have to take these sections and flip them down, and there's a whole panel under that, and these two sections right here, try to close up that, these two sections are double jointed. But what you want to do now is just bring this whole assembly like so that the skull would be facing here, and then just bring this up so that now you have it angled this way, and then just fold this section, which is going to go and peg into this hole right here with that, and then just bring this and rotate that, and it will peg into this section as well as the arm area. Do the same thing for the other side. There you go. Just have it pegged right there. Peg it tight. And then you can snap this two sections together, right? And then just angle this, because it's double jointed, just push it in, and then just bring the toes in front. You're actually done. You just have to piece now the weapons and complete that. And notice that there's like a big gap right here. You can then put this, I'm not a big fan of this actually, it's just really too plain. And there you have it. That is your, you can bring this up, by the way. That is your Cybertronian battle tank for Skullgrin. Yeah, that is a tank. That's a hover Cybertronian tank, whatever. It doesn't roll. There are no wheels, which is, let's go to that. Let's address that, you know, that issue right there. There could have been like one of those small plastic wheels placed here, and it's just a shame that there was no option to do that, because let's take a look at the size comparison and the vehicle comparison of the generations Skullgrin. Look at that, very different. This is one of my favorite alt modes for Skullgrin. Very earthly looking, yeah. And this is what I was talking about. You could have placed this right there. That would have worked, because these are plastic tank treads as well, and that could have gone here. So my question is why, right? Look at that, very kind of close up. Look at the undercarriage. Look at that, very sad attempt. Very different though. I mean, I like that this has more of an earthly mode, you know, earth vehicle mode, versus this is a very Cybertronian setup, which is very close to his Pretender transformation, which is pretty cool. It's just like an homage to that. Now, another thing that I like doing is that this is pretty cool. If you have this guy, you know, the small Pretender Skullgrin, what you could do is you see that section right there? You could put that here, and then just angle this like that, and then boom, you have like a Skullgrin minicon riding the bigger Skullgrin, and that kind of works. Has that Master of the Universe kind of vibe, you know, the toys back then. So it's pretty cool. I like that. There you go. Let's take a gander at those two vehicle modes. Honestly, it's not really special. There are so many plain and opportunities that have been missed in this vehicle mode and in this figure. So let's have this figure transform back into its robot mode and give our final say about Deluxe Class Legacy Skullgrin. Be right back. We're back, and we have Skullgrin in his robot mode again. This time we placed the weapons on his back, and we have the what do you call this, power master or power whatever figure on his arms. We have the Skullgrin version of him and Bombers. There you go. I remember now the name of that person. Hooray, it's Bombers. And I think he's going to be a core class figure in the next run, which hopefully we get. Anywho, so again, he looks better with this kind of setup. And let's have some of the other Decepticons that we featured earlier come back as a little backup right there. And of course, let's bring in their mighty leader, Mighty Galvatron. There you go. Hello, Mighty Galvatron. There you go. And honestly, they look great together. There you go. Final say, he looks cool. Absolutely cool. I love the face sculpt. He is just evil, fiendishly looking, and that is just an amazing thing. I mean, if you have seen a lot of metal albums in the past, you definitely know that, okay, they took a nod to one of those, right? And he's just fantastic. Reminds you a lot of a robotic version of maybe a Skeletor or any heroes or villains that are kind of Motu-esque, you know, Master of the Universe-esque setup or feature right there. Articulation wise, he's great. Very modern articulation. My drawback again is like a little drawback with the fists, but other than that, he looks fantastic. Very playable when it comes to the setup of the weapons and the ports, but it's just too plain looking. It's just too friggin' plain. Okay, you could have gone wild on this one. It's a monster robot. There are tons of things that you could do to make him more menacing and evil looking, Hasbro. So I just really think that it was a wasted opportunity. It could have been really a fantastic figure. Overall, I give this a possible 6 out of 10, or maybe like a 7 out of 10. But yeah, he's okay. He's not that amazing, but I like him nonetheless. So that's pretty much it for us for this video. We are definitely going to continue our review. I'm just really having a hard time finding a place for us to do the review for this fella right here, although we're not really going to review this guy, but the Titan version of that guy over there. We have Cybertron Metroplex and his Titan version, which arrived a week ago. We're going to definitely do that soon, as soon as I can find a space, because my room, this place right here that I have, is a pretty tiny setup. So we're going to try to find a better section around the house to do that. But that's pretty much it for us. Again, thank you very much for subscribing. For those people that have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification, and thank you for all those people that have been subscribing lately. You are amazing. You rock, just like this metal looking figure right here. Rock and roll. So that is pretty much it for us. Till all are one. Peace out. Rock and roll.